Uh-oh.
Okay, I get it. Time to come back. So we're back. Alright. We're going to do some guitar building. As usual, brought to you by Three Monkeys. Right? Three Monkeys Solderless. Home of the world's greatest connectors and cable. Just cut it to length, screw it on. Got your audio connector on this side. Got your DC connector on this side. Put a 120 volt wall outlet in there and you can have even more fun. Alright. So let's see where we left off, right? Let's see where we left off. We're going to build, I guess we're going to continue building the Blackguard Eddie guitar, right? The Blackguard Frankie. So, let's start. Let's put some parts up here and we'll start putting it together and we'll kind of chunk it together. First things first. Get some nice little soft area to put our stuff on. Here's the body. I don't know if anybody's has seen it since it's been finished. Right? Nice kind of like Blackguard finish. I don't know if it's coming through on the camera correctly in the correct color. But it's a nice kind of, Blackguard mustardy kind of color right there. Let's get the neck. Right, we've got the neck and we did a couple of things to it, right? We covered it in green cellophane in some places because we put a little bit of lacquer, some sanding sealer up here, nice and flat finish to seal in the logo. Moto Teddy, right? Kind of like in the Gibson font. Gold leaf. Looks stupid cool on this, right? Okay. We got that. We got this. Obviously, we have our Godo trim unit, pre-aged. Let's see what else we got. Oh, yeah. We got some tuners. Right, we've got our Godo tuners here. Right, they're oval heads. I kind of went digging around looking for parts that would be useful that I already have. So the oval heads will have to do. Here's some more stuff. Hope you enjoyed today's music. I'm kind of getting into sort of this style of music lately. I think it's fun. So anyway, here are like the oval heads Godos, right? So we got them in the baggie here. We have some aged little strap buttons like the big ones, which are cool. Probably replace it with DiMarzio strap locks, strap system. I like that better. We have a pickup to start off with. It's a MJ, right? MJ wound to 78, which we could probably take the magnet out of, like we were talking about, and put in a PAF magnet. Got ourselves a little jack plate, neck plate. Always got to have wax for your screws, right? Got ourselves a tusk nut, right? This is sort of like the preformed one. It's really good on trims, I feel like. Gives you a really good slippery kind of like surface. So we got two kinds because I couldn't remember whether this was flat bottomed or curved bottom, so I got a curved and a flat. So we got those, and we got a nice low friction Borden's potentiometer. Okay, so I think the first thing we're going to do is put some tuners on the neck, right? So I'm going to put these parts back over here. There we go. Get the trim unit out of the way. Get these screws out of the way. Take the body out. Protect it right over here. Be interesting to see if I get a copyright strike for the music. The classical stuff always gives me a strike. Not that I really care, but it always does. So I basically taped this off with some green painter's tape to give a little edge, and then sprayed it down with a sanding sealer, Mohawk sanding sealer, heavy bodied, which gives a really nice flat finish. That looks a lot like the sort of like unpainted wood. It's not glossy, which I didn't want. And I probably wouldn't have put anything on it if I wasn't putting on this water slide gold-leafed Moto Teddy logo that I got made for me. And then had to shoot, lacquer over it to protect the logo. So that's the reason for that. So I'm going to start taking off the tape here. And there's still a lot of decisions to be made about, like, how this thing is going to come together. I change my mind a lot, if that's not apparent. Right? If that's not apparent by now, you're new, or you're asleep, or you're very generous. Also been doing a lot of interesting side projects, which has sort of been keeping me off the internet and keeping me off the YouTube. So some of that stuff we may be seeing pretty soon. Some of this stuff, not every experiment that you come up with works the way you want it to. So sometimes you spend a lot of time going down a road which led nowhere. But, I always find you can pick up something. There's always a lesson somewhere in what you do. Even when you mess up, you learn stuff. Or not mess up, but even when your theories don't quite work out the way you wanted to, you usually end up taking a step forward. So I got some new things, some new ideas, some new stuff that I've been working on, which has been keeping me interested and having some fun again, right? So keep peeling this off. So to put on tuners, you need just a couple of things. You need like a ruler to make sure they're all sort of in line. You need a drill to drill the holes, the pilot holes for the screws that hold the tuners in place. And I always like to have the wax, like we talked about, which is just like beeswax that you can get at a woodworking shop, or you can use a candle if you don't got a woodworking shop around, or you've kind of alienated the guys in the woodworking shop. This neck is just ridiculous. It's a Warmoth. If you haven't been in the previous videos, where we were sort of doing other things but doing this in the background, it's a flat 16 degree radius. So we're going to be able to, try to set this thing up with an action that I'm not used to, right? Which would be very flat and very low. I'm used to playing like 9 degrees, 9.5 degree Stratocaster, sometimes even 7, a lot. Although my the red and black guitar, red pickguard guitar has a compound radius on that, which is cool. All right, look at that, huh? It's got the big frets on it. So I think we already took a look at the job that they did in terms of putting the frets in, right? Kind of using a straight edge and seeing if there are any high spots. I think this thing's going to play pretty good right out of the box. We may not need to do any fret dressing on it. Okay, so let's get our tuners and we'll put them in. You know what's great about being me is I can have something and 2 seconds later I don't have it. Here they are. Okay. Alright, so we'll dump out our stuff here. Separate out. We got our screws here and our tuners here. These are 10 millimeter and also 10 millimeter little nuts there, which is cool. So I'm going to grab my socket wrench with a 10 millimeter socket. And we'll start putting these in place. Right? Dude. And we're going to do this a little at a time. I'm going to try not to make these videos so long unless they have to be, or I just get lost. I mean, we're already at 9 minutes. I'm terrible. So we're going to put these on. So maybe we'll call this video installing the tuners. And then we'll stop once the tuners are in. And then we'll continue in another video of putting it on the body. And then there'll be another video, so forth and so on. I'm probably going to do a lot of this right now, but just break it up for you. I just find with this music, I like the melodies a lot. They use a familiar kind of vibe to them, which I don't find in a lot of the modern music anymore. All right, so let's, we got to line these all up so that they look good. Whereas I think actually if Eddie had done this, he probably would have just screwed them in where they are. Because that's the way he rolled. So this is kind of, I don't know if this is talking out of school or not talking out of school, I don't know. But apparently there might be a chance to build an amp for Chickenfoot. There just might be. They're using a Jose amp that I did that Jason Bonham got. And they've been using it in rehearsals. And it seems to be fitting in with some of the other amplifiers pretty well. So there might be a chance. I heard from my Three Monkeys partner about it. But I'm probably not supposed to say nothing. But at this point, I'm not so worried about saying nothing. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And I'll tell you what. 9 times out of 10, it never works out. And that's okay. You know? I'm cool with that. So I'm just kind of getting this ruler to bottom them out. Right? There they go. Then I'll just give them a quick snugging. And check them one more time. I always like to trust my eye too. I think that's it. I think we're in the ballpark. Good enough for Teddy, right? That's what we're gonna say. It's good enough for Teddy. So we got a drill, right? We got it loaded up already with our little 16th inch bit, and I would recommend, honestly. My phone just went off. I wonder if that's I already got caught for speaking. Now, those are just some knuckleheads. Alright, you get a piece of tape so you don't drill through the front of the headstock. I've done that. It's fun. Right? Okay. I probably should use my what I affectionately call the pokey tool and just put a little dent where it should go and get in frame. Just so that the drill bit has somewhere to center on so it doesn't walk all over the place and end up going into the thing sideways. Okay. Alright, I'm going to turn on this light here, which is probably going to blow up the camera but it'll just be for a second, so I could drill with a little bit more accuracy, right? All right, let's see what it does. Damn. Okay. You know what? I don't even know if that's helping me. I think that's better. I can see that point a lot better. So I'm just kind of using my thumb to work the bit there. Start it. Drill. Looking good. I'm sure, like, guys that are out there that do this for every day, so to speak, at like a guitar manufacturer, they probably have another way of doing this. In terms of lining everything up, and in terms of getting everything in where they want it. I mean, I suppose you could just line up the holes, right? You could like put one hole here, draw a line between the two, and then you would have a dead straight line for all the other holes to go into. And by force majeure, the holes would be all in a straight line, and therefore the tuners would be. So if I had to do this for somebody that was very not like me, I would probably do it that way, right? So the idea in that case would be to set the two ends, take the tuners out, draw a pencil line between the two holes you drilled on each end, put the tuners back in and work them until every single tuner hole sits on that line you want. Mark them again, take the tuners out, drill again, and then you're probably going to get it about as good as you can go. But me, I think sometimes the stuff looks better if it's done by eye. It looks more natural, but who am I? Sort of like drum machines versus drummers. So I'm just putting a little wax on these guys. Right? The wax. Man, we're closing in on 18 minutes. 17 and change already. Alright, so I got this screwdriver ready, and we're going to start putting them in. And without wax, this can be a dumb idea to put in the screws, because I've heard many stories of people before telling about this, snapping off these little tiny screws in the maple, snapping the heads off. And once you got a snapped off head, if it's snapped off low enough, then you got some work ahead of you, right? You got to drill that sucker out. You got to plug the hole that you drilled to take out the wood, basically the plug that contains the screw. You got to get it flush again and then redo it, which is kind of a pain in the butt, and you need a special tool. I mean, there are some screw extracting tools or ways of doing it, but a lot of times that just doesn't work with these tiny little, really chintzy screws that the metal is more likely to just keep breaking and falling apart the more you try to grab it with pliers or put a slot in to grab with a screwdriver. It just never works. You usually end up having to drill a plug out around that contains the shaft of the screw, and then replace the plug with matching maple, which is okay, because I mean, usually if you get a small enough plug, you never see it because it's under there, under the tuner. There we go, baby. Okay, now we can finish off tightening. Doing this to exactly 13 pounds of torque. All right, that's pretty cool. I hope it looks good to you guys. Looks good to me. So it's 20 minutes. All right, so let's call it a video right here. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to get this camera off and start going on to the next segment. All right, so thanks for watching, and we'll see you